Hi, my name's Nadia Marshall. Welcome to Warmth TV. Today I'm going to show you how to make fennel, millet and buckwheat soup. This is a beautiful recipe that comes from Stephen Galpin, who is a very good friend and Ayurvedic cooking consultant and vegetarian chef. He cooks at our retreats and we've made a cookbook together called the AYURVEDIC Kitchen, and this is one of the recipes from that cookbook. It's a really light, nourishing but delicious soup that is so easy to make, and you're going to absolutely love it. Enjoy. So here we have our beautiful ingredients. I like to pre-chop everything before I start cooking the soup, which makes life easier. We have the diced celery, finely chopped coriander stalks, freshly grated ginger, coriander leaves or cilantro, finely diced fennel, potatoes, which are completely optional, and the carrots. Then we have here the hulled millet that we're using and the buckwheat. Now we soak the millet and buckwheat for 2 to 3 hours beforehand. Then the first thing we do is we need to rinse it. So just rinsing it with your hands, tipping the water out, filling it up again, and then rinsing it again. And you do this probably 3 to 4 times until any of the sort of slimy quality of the buckwheat and millet has been removed and the water is running clear and fresh. And we put the millet and buckwheat in a pot with 5 cups of cold water and bring it to the boil on a high flame with the lid on. So while that's coming to the boil, we can start cooking our veggies in another pot. So we heat up our ghee in a nice big pot. So the first thing we do once the ghee's warmed up is add the fennel seeds and just lightly fry them off on a relatively low to moderate heat. We don't want to burn them. So just fry off the fennel seeds, and then we're going to add our veggies. So adding the carrot and the celery, the fennel, the potatoes. If you're cooking with potatoes, you just use potatoes if you wanted a slightly heartier soup, otherwise it's not necessary. And stir them together, starting to fry them off in the ghee and the fennel. And then we also want to add the coriander stalks, which are kind of like mini celery. That's one way to think of it. So it's good to add them at the beginning to help really cook them until they soften and draw out the lovely flavours of the coriander. So we stir that, then pop the lid on and let it cook for quite a few minutes, lifting the lid and checking it occasionally. Meanwhile, we're looking back at our broth and it's starting to boil vigorously. So at this stage we skim off any scum that's forming at the top. And then we're adding a few things to the broth, just some turmeric and the ginger. And then we're adding the salt. So here we have some lovely pink Himalayan crystal salt. Adding about 4 or 5 pinches to the broth. And then once we've done that, we can actually turn the broth off. So turn the heat off. And in the meantime, we're going back to our veggies and seeing how they're coming along. We've stirred them a few times in between to see how they're cooking. And if they're starting to stick to the bottom slightly or starting to look slightly caramelised, then you can start to add the broth to the veggies. So simply pour the broth straight into the veggies, getting all the millet and buckwheat out of the bottom. Then bringing that back up to the boil. And then we cook it for about another 5 to 15 minutes depending. Just test every now and then to see if the veggies are cooked and the grains are cooked. So you have it half covered on a moderate heat. And let it cook away until the veggies are soft and the grains are soft. So it'll look a little bit like this when it's ready. And the final step is to add the roughly chopped coriander leaves and Italian parsley leaves. So after you've added them, turn the soup off relatively quickly so that they keep their vibrant green colour. And then serve the soup up. You can serve it with papadums or flatbreads, but it's quite a filling soup, so as is usually perfect for dinner. Enjoy.